Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, FD for SageFact.tv, bringing you that weekly crypto market updates, a segment we bring you every week where we look at the eye-catching headlines of the past week concerning the crypto space, covering everything Bitcoin, crypto, spot Bitcoin ETFs, and so forth, and anything related to finance, but it's got to have a crypto bias. Well, before we jump into this week's update, guys, please note that I am not a financial advisor. If you do require financial advice, please approach someone who's trained to do so. And if you're from the UK, please note that this video is not intended for UK audiences. Why? Because the UK authorities are protecting you as they do deem crypto assets to be extremely risky to retail investors. Therefore, please do not watch this video. But if you're from the rest of the world, please welcome to our channel. And if you are new, please consider subscribing to our channel. Or if you are a returning viewer, if you are not subscribed, please do consider subscribing to our channel. The objective remains to grow the channel, of course. So let's jump into this week's update. We all know that Bitcoin's price is skyrocketing and has dominated the crypto markets this week. Any news, it was all about Bitcoin. And as we intimated in last week's episode, we may very well smash past the previous all-time high during this side of the Bitcoin halving. And it's not far off because we're only 7% off the previous all-time high. So we might just do it in a few weeks. It's now next month. Can you believe it? We're in March now. It's now next month. That's the Bitcoin halving. Exciting times indeed. Yes, we're getting so close to that event, but just like we put it, ladies and gents, it is just an event and the market will power through that event just as it has done during the past such previous events. An event is supposed to be that. It's a single point in time. And you know what's common among those? The price of Bitcoin always rises and it continues to do so without any hesitation. But we all know that there were more price action across the crypto markets, not just Bitcoin. So in this video, we are going to cover some of the standout prices for a selection of crypto assets or altcoins. And here I'm going to choose just a few. We are looking at Stacks, which is a Bitcoin layer 2 scaling solution, Pyth network, Solana, Dogecoin, Arweave, Injective, Ribbon Finance, which I believe has now been rebranded to Evo. And the list is long, but in this video, we can't cover everything, so we'll just cover a small selection. There were also some SEX outages to report on, and yeah, don't be dirty-minded. I'm talking of centralized exchanges here. We are also updating you on the Bitcoin ETF status, the spot Bitcoin ETF, the one that is grabbing the headlines, the one being led by BlackRock. How much do they own now as part of their spot Bitcoin ETF through their IBIT ETF? On the real-world assets front, we have some news on a potentially explosive collaboration between Ripple and Axelar, or shall we say XRP and Axelar. That's one to wait for. Keep watching if you want to know more about that. Over in Nigeria, the authorities have yet to take action due to a perceived threat being posed by cryptocurrencies. Would you believe it? If you want to know a little more about that, please keep watching. So starting with the Bitcoin price, like we said, it's decided to shoot upwards when so many within the space were expecting a dump because it's overextended, they say. We also witnessed the largest volume of shorts liquidated since the beginning of the year as a result. Here we are talking of almost 400 million in short liquidations on the 28th of February 2024, which is the day when Bitcoin hit a new cycle high. Not a new all-time high, just a cycle high, because this is now a new cycle that we are in. Binance saw the largest amount in short liquidations, followed by OKX. Kids, like I always tell you, do not mess around with leverage, especially in a bull market. Shorting a bullish trend in a bull market is like chopping down a tree branch that you are sat on. Ridiculous. The end result will not be pretty. Anyway, back to the Bitcoin price then. Bitcoin went from around $50,000 to around $64,000 in a matter of 3 days. We are talking of a 28% rise in 3 days. For altcoins, that's nothing to be surprised by. But for an asset like Bitcoin with such a high market value or market cap, that is crazy. That is just epic. It has since retraced though to around $60,000. It's now fluctuating between $60.8 to $62,000. So you could say it's consolidating around that range, hopefully for more upside. Just like we paused last week in a previous episode, do you think we will hit a new all-time high before the upcoming Bitcoin halving that is taking place next month? Would you believe it, guys? Next month. Anyway, next, all comprises that caught the tailwind of the Bitcoin explosive price movement. You got Stacks, Bitcoin layer 2 scaling solution, which saw a rise of around 30% over a couple of days. Then Pyth network, which saw a 46% rise, setting a new all-time high along the way. Solana, a 32% rise for the Sol token, was another mouth-watering performance from a large cap, and Solana is certainly on a charge. Dogecoin, the king of meme coins, saw an incredible 62% rise, solidifying its place among the top 10 cryptos for now. But will that change anytime soon? We are still waiting for those shiny new things that launched with so much fanfare. Are they going to be joining us within the top 10? We'll wait and see. Next is Arweave, the self-declared collectively owned hard drive that never forgets, which saw a mega pump following news that it had launched a hyper-parallel computer, which aims to do for compute what earlier early internet protocols did for data transmission. Ethereum, watch out, there is a new kid in town. The price of the Arweave token saw an increase of over 105%, which is another epic performance from a mid-cap. And the channel favorite, Injective, which saw an almost 40% increase over the previous 7 days. We are talking of moving from around $34 to about $44, so that was crazy. It looks like the bullish trend has returned to the Injective coin, and here I was starting to think that maybe the bear market rally sucked out all the energy from this promising Cosmos Layer 1. We need to keep watching that one. I've got high hopes for it. And finally, a crypto we'll hold is part of our 15K to 600K portfolio challenge. We did not enjoy enough coverage in my view due to lackluster performance. It looks like it is alive after all. The RBN token, which saw an incredible 52% increase, and it has slightly retraced since then. Looking forward to how this one performs in a bull run proper. Now that circulating supply sits at 92%, I still want to understand the tokenomics around the rebrand to Avo as well as Reborn Finance. What's going to happen? I'll have to do some reading and dig around. Moving on to the spot Bitcoin ETF, our dear friend BlackRock holds 161,265 Bitcoin, worth a whopping 10.09 billion. That is huge. And that's an increase of 34,315 Bitcoins from the last time we covered this item about a week ago. But what I don't understand though, this information is straight from BlackRock's website, where you can track the amount of Bitcoin they hold as part of that IBIT ETF. But if you go to some sites or portals that are tracking this spot Bitcoin ETF, they are coming up with a totally different figure. I will go with what BlackRock's website is saying, and this is what they have. I've been using this from the beginning, so I'm not going to change now. BlackRock family have MicroStrategy in their site now, and you can tell that Uncle Larry, now our uncle, right, and his gang won't stop until they are sitting right at the top of the pile above MicroStrategy, and of course Grayscale. But Grayscale will take some beating because they still hold a lot of Bitcoin as part of their Grayscale ETF. This is huge though. That's an increase that is huge. There are signs that things are ramping up on the spot Bitcoin front. Some serious people who have some serious wealth are coming to play. Who are they? Could it be Jeff Bezos? I have no idea. The rest of the spot Bitcoin ETF field is just as it was. You got Grayscale sitting at the top, then you've got obviously BlackRock, followed by Fidelity, and then the rest. And you still got Wisdom Tree sitting right at the bottom. Anyway, moving on. We had some centralized exchange outages. Coinbase, at a time when the price of Bitcoin and some altcoins were on the up. Shocking. That is if you are new to the space. We are used to it. They always do this. This is now a common feature within the space where centralized exchanges conveniently suffer outages during times of peak traffic. Whether this is by design or unexpected or accidental, this has happened so many times now that one can be forgiven for being cynical. Do they do this on purpose? If you know the answer, let us know in the comment section. Then you have that Ripple or XRP collaboration with Axelar. Ripple and the Axelar Foundation have joined forces to enhance interoperability on the XRP ledger blockchain, aiming to propel the next phase of real-world asset tokenization. This strategic partnership will empower developers to utilize Axelar's general message passing or GMP technology. GMP allows them to execute calls on smart contracts across over 55 blockchains. This capability facilitates the deployment of decentralized applications or dApps on the XRP ledger, fostering a more interconnected ecosystem. Moving on, we got that Nigeria clamped down, and exchanges are also under pressure from what was and still is, if you ask me, a leading country for crypto mass adoption. But the Nigerian authorities have now blocked access to the leading crypto exchanges that are still operating in Nigeria, with some reports suggesting that there may have been some arrests related to Binance. I understand 2 of their executives were arrested or placed under arrest. That is just shocking if you ask me. Absolutely shocking. In my view, any country that claims to be a democracy should not be stopping people from participating in newer technologies. That is the future. Anyway, other crypto exchanges to be banned by the Nigerian authorities include Coinbase and Kraken. Anyway guys, that was a quick update as part of our weekly crypto market review. What are your thoughts guys? Did we miss something that you think we should have included in this week's update? Mind you, we can only do a brief update. We cannot include everything that ever happened in crypto, especially things that have been fully and extensively covered elsewhere by other YouTubers and channels. I hope you forgive us for using that approach. Until the next update, which will be due next week, I'm your host, FD for Sage5.tv. Bye for now.